Hello and welcome everyone to a new video here on Lotus Box from me. Today we're going to talk about best of one historic, and it's all about the Arena Open on the coming weekend. There's so many best of one decks. I'm going to show you 6 best of one decks. It's going to be Sectos, then we're going to go Mono Blue, we have Reclamation, and we have 2 combo decks in Kefis and Breach. We're also gonna shortly talk about Goblins first, but I don't have the gameplay for this. But I just want to mention it there. I want to include 2 combo decks here in Best of 1, because in Best of 1 it's really hard to sideboard against combo decks. And this is the main reason we see here 2 combo decks. Then we're gonna see a more aggressive deck with Rakdos here, which is really good against creatures. Then we're gonna see a tempo deck that is really versatile. And we're going to see a Reclamation Best of 1 with Field of the Dead, which is just an absolutely crazy card. There are multiple decks you could play. There's a Burn deck, there's a Chess Guy deck that tries to go against many creature decks. There's a Field of the Dead Bond deck still. But those decks usually tend to have problems against Reclamation, which I think is tier 1. Yeah, there are also mono black lists. There are multiple lists, mono white, mono black. So I think it's safe to say that if we go against creatures, Sectos is the best deck. The most versatile deck is this one. This is also really versatile. It always depends on the meta snapshot we find. I just want to include 2 combo decks because, as I said, I think those decks can go really off in Best of 1. And if you are a master of those decks, I think you should choose them. Me, myself, I know how to play them. I would not consider myself a master. I think the only deck I master is the Reclamation deck. But yeah, those are the decks. Feel free to ask me about other decks. There's a comment section in the Lotus Box thing below, or on YouTube, or go check out my Discord and ask me there privately. Yeah, so I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. There will be another one about best of 3 as well, but yeah, this is it so far, and yeah, enjoy. Okay, so here we have Rakdos. Rakdos is one of the better best of 3 decks, but it's definitely also really strong in best of 1. It's a Rakdos sacrifice deck. There's not much more to say. The card we got from Jumpstart here is Phyrexian Tower. Really good to enable Boulder Citadel even earlier. There are versions where you can consistent run this turn 4, the Citadel. We play Cat Oven, classic. It just comes in, pings 1, sacrifice, and so on. We play the Gather Bones for some more 1-drops to feed our Priest of the Forgotten Gods, where we can sacrifice 2 creature, opponent has to sacrifice a card as well. We get 2 black sauce, we draw a card. That's why we want to play a bit more of 1-drops. So we have 3 Gather Bones, we have 4 Stitcher Supply. Really good card. It fills our graveyard, where we can sometimes find cats, or like Ghost Rider we can replay. And yeah, so 1 mana comes into play, we mill 3. When it dies, we mill 3. Village Rites, really neat card, and 1 mana, its initial cost, we can sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. Sometimes really nice against removal spells, we can do it in reaction. I just like this card. Then Claim the Firstborn, 1 mana. This card is just still really good, especially in Best of 1, where this deck should usually win against every creature-based deck because of this card. We get 1 mana, we gain control of target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less until the end of turn, and we untap that creature, it gains haste. So with a Priest in play, this is so powerful, because we only need 1 creature. We get the creature. If they have another one, they have to sacrifice that creature. We draw a card, we get just so much off. I probably say this always on my stream. This card is so powerful. Then we have Priest. We play Ghost Rider for sacrifice effect, also for the Scry effect, because we have an additional win con here in Ball Citadel, where we definitely want to like the Ghost Rider. Mayhem Devil obviously cannot miss this deck. 3 mana, 3/3. When a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to that and to any target. Really good. Then we have Ball Citadel, 6 mana. Usually if we play this and we have a Ghost Rider and creature, we win the game. Because it's a 6 mana, we may play lands, and cast spell from the top of our library with seeing the top of the card, top of the deck. again, the card on top of the deck, and we can basically play our deck, and then we can tap the Ball Citadel, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, each opponent lose 10 life. If we have a Mayhem Devil in play, it's exact 20 damage. Usually against a deck like this, they are on under 20 damage. So this is what it does, and with Phyrexian Tower and with Priest of Forgotten Gods, we have a faster way to ramp into Ball Citadel and just win the game from there. It's a simple deck. I'm pretty sure every one of you saw this multiple times. I just think if people try to play creature decks, this is the deck you want to go. It should crush those creature decks. Had a really good game here against the Casfist deck. And yeah, if you like this type of deck, try it out and enjoy the games. Pox Life here. Let's see what the Rakdos deck can do. Let's keep. That's an easy keep. Go for Supplier here. Triple land, not what we were hoping for. Black, okay. Leading up with a Priest. Priest survives, we can use Priest activation. They have an Eliminate, because why not, you play this in the main. Just gonna lead up with more creatures. I hope they are not something like a control deck. Black with like Languish and stuff. Then this is another matchmaking of what's here. Actually, it is that deck. That's ridiculous. I'm actually at a point where I think this is the matchup we do not want to face. And every time I try a deck, I get matched up against the worst of all for me. So this is a bit sad. Because I play board wipes. And a lot. And the minus board wipes. Which kind of sucks. So we need to dodge those board wipes now. We definitely need to dodge it. Okay, so they don't have it, I think. Otherwise they will not scry. I mean, you would scry here though. Well, that's fine. I should have attacked first, I guess. But there's no board wipe here that can use this. Okay. That another eliminate. No. Then this. Cat, no. Okay. So we put in some damage. I still know they don't have any board wipes. This is what I know. If they do, I lose my board. Bottom, a good sign. This is lethal on board, so this just shows the aggression of this deck. And I think we just do another one shortly. I even lost rank. There's this mono black best of 1 deck. I don't think it's good enough. I think it's like tier 3. I try to show you guys tier 1 and tier 2 decks. We have a similar hand like before. Where this time we start with Gutterbones to maximize the damage. I think it's smarter to do it here than the Stitcher. Okay. 2 damage. It must be like... Okay. Well, that's fine. That's a bit annoying, but we get rid of this. So they play a combo deck here. We're going for this one. Okay. Could have played it differently. But yeah, Claim Your is definitely really nice. Get this back. Play it. And we play the Stitch Supplier. Okay, so we have another Priest activation next turn. It's really nice to deal with that creature because some of that creature are definitely key. This is the thing. Okay, sure. This one dies next turn. They have another Mox though. This is a bit dangerous. It's a bit dangerous now. Mox Amber doesn't give them blue, so they cannot try to get the Emery back. But they can... That's tricky. It's tricky. Well, that's a good card. Okay. So, we should push damage. Where we're just gonna sacrifice those two. It's kind of fine. Nope. Going down 7. So this is Keffa, so I'm not sure if they can go off here. Claim is just so strong against decks like this. Having Priest turn 2 against deck like this is really crucial, okay? They can play. Actually, they could go off here. It is tricky, but they could go off. It really depends what they have on their hand. They need loss. Okay. It is actually possible. Okay, let's see how they do this. Okay. That's obvious to start with this. Okay, 3 lands. 1 legendary, blue. Play Mox Amber. Play Lasaf. Oh, they have the fairy, okay. Interesting. I don't know why they do that. But yeah, they can replay it. They have to get rid of both Lasaf here. To play another Emery. I will let this go through so you guys see how this deck works. Because when I played it... Prism, that's interesting. I don't think you should play Prism. It's not a legendary. It's really hard if you miss many legendaries here. Because they cannot reuse it. It's just our turn. We're gonna sacrifice the Supplier and the cat. It's not easy though. Okay, they go on 5. I know they can win next turn, which is the problem. But I also know they have to block. Oh, my nose. Okay. I'm gonna sacrifice the Gutter Bones here instantly. Because we could draw cards that help us here. We won. It's gonna be so close though. Did we actually win? If I attack with both, they block the War Strider. And I can do damage. If I block the Gutter Bones, they have to block it. I can kill the Cathis though. No, yeah, I have to do it like this. Actually, I have to clear my entire board here. Well, I don't have to clear the entire board. I think we have to go for this. And this is the top, so now I just have to survive, right? Yeah. Don't mind the fairy here. Gonna use the mana, and if you survive this turn, if they don't have another Cathis, I think we got this now. If they have a Lasav, they could be able to do it, but the way it looks like this, it's fine. Okay, they found a Cephas. Which is really unlucky. I think they win now. I think it's one turn off where we had to use bolas here to win. I could have pushed damage. Well, now I wish I would have done it differently and go for face. Probably should have. Nah, I could have sacrificed the Mayhem Devil there. Okay. So let's hope they whiff. 1, 2. They hit 2. They still don't have the Delinquent though. Okay, that makes sense. I was hoping they had Teferi. The thing is, they had Teferi and Cephas, which gives them this ability here. Yeah, they won. So I'm gonna let you show how this works. They had both cards they needed to win this turn, and we were one off, which is fine. I just want to show you guys. So in the Cephas combo now, they try to mill themselves down to chase here. Yep. So they can redo this now multiple times, I think, without the Delinquent here if they do it well. They just have to play. They don't have too many though. It's not gonna be easy, but they have to play Emery here again. Well, they hit 1, 2, 3. It's not easy. They really don't have too many legendaries. That's why you play a little bit more. But they can still do it. So they have 1, 2 left. So if this Emery is bad now, they lose. Okay, they got 2 more. They have to get the Lasav and the Emery out. It's close. If they hit 4 lands, they will not win here. Emery again. They hit the Mox Ember. Okay. Well, they have to sacrifice an Ember and... But they only have this. This is actually... They have to sacrifice what? A Mox Ember and an Emery. I think they lose. I think they cannot make it. Opponent doesn't play too many legendaries here. I think they cannot make it. Maybe they can surprise me, but they don't play 2 chase, right? Pretty sure this is game. Yeah. That's the problem. So all I have to do is actually get the Ghost Rider in. Don't have to play Citadel here. Well, they should have had the legendaries, but I wanted to show you guys, but yeah, that's it. Okay, was fun. Let's check out the next deck. So here we're gonna talk about the Breach combo for best of 1. In this deck, what we try to do is we try to win the game with Tassa's Oracle, which is a 2-mana creature 1/3. When it comes to the game, we can check the top cards of our deck for X, where X is devotion to blue. Let's say we have 4 blue devotion. We can check the top 4 cards, put one of them on top, and if X is also less or equal, greater or equal to the number of devotion we have, we win the game. We instantly win the game. So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to win in 1 turn, and the way we're gonna do this is putting cards in our graveyard and then keep playing certain cards with Underworld Breach, which is the key card in this deck. It's a 2-mana card where it says each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard, and at the beginning of the end step we have to sacrifice Breach. So the moment we play Breach, we get access to all our cards in our graveyard until the end of turn, and if we want to play those cards, we have to exile 3 cards. So how do we get cards in our graveyard, right? This is the first step. we have a card called Diligent Excavator. I'm not sure if I say it correct, but it's a 2-mana 1/3. Whenever you cast a historic spell, we target player mills 2 cards. So we have this card in the game. We play a 0-mana historic spell, which are artifacts and legendaries. And Moxambor is one of those. So Moxambor, 0 mana, we can tap it and add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures or planeswalker we control. Moxambor is also a key card, because with Moxambor you can loop over and over again and get mana. So let's say we have this, we play this, we mill 2. That's basically it. We also play Emery, Lurker of the Loch, 3 mana, 1/2. It has affinity to have artifacts. It costs 1 less for each artifact in play. Whenever Emery, Lurker of the Loch enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. In combination with this card, we would mill 6. We can tap, choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. This is basically what Emery does. So also a way to get cards in our graveyard. The last way to get cards in our graveyard is a little bit different. It's Lazav. It's a 2 mana 1/3. When Lazav the Multiverse enters the battlefield, surveil 1. You can pay X. Lazav the Multifarious becomes a copy of target creature card in our graveyard with converted mana cost X. Except its name is Lazav the Multifarious. It's legendary in addition to its other types and its abilities. So what this means is, if we would mill our Diligent Excavator, that's his name, in our graveyard, we could pay 2 and we transform Lazav in this card, because this card is really key. So if we accidentally mill this, we want to have some ways to get cards back, where there's also Lurrus, 3 mana, 3/2. We don't care about Companion because we don't play this Companion. During each of your turns, you may cast 1 permanent spell with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. So also another way to get the Diligent Excavator back, or even other cards like Underworld Breach, for example, if we mill Breach. So this is what the deck does. Let's go to the other cards shortly. We play 2 Crypts. It's nice in best of 1 mirrors. And on top of that, it's 0 mana spell, which gives us some more mill with this card. Really like this card because we can just play it again with Breach over and over again, because we mill, play it, right? We play Chromatic Sphere as well. It's 1 mana, also Jumpstart card. It's from Mirrodin as far as I remember, because I think I played this in Ravager. 1 mana, tap, sacrifice Chromatic Sphere, add 1 mana of any color, draw a card. We have some more legendary spells like Fibblefib. The last 2 mana, it comes to the game, you draw a card. That's basically all it does. Then we play Teferi, 3 mana. I don't have to say too much about Teferi. Teferi is a really, really good card. We can bounce 0 mana cards, for example, back to replay to mill more. And we play 1 Tesher, Ancestor, Apostle. I added 1 here. I think it's a really cool card. Sometimes this card goes off really badly. It's a 4 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So we can get cards back we want. So this is the deck, this is the mana base. I shortly try to do play-by-play here how we would win the game. But you're going to see it in the game as well. We would play cards until we get the Excavator. We try to fill our graveyard, right? And then we start the combo. Combo will be Breach. Okay, we fill our combo. We have some mana there. We have a Moxambor in play with a Moxambor in graveyard. We tap the Moxambor for mana. We play a new Moxambor, mill at the same time, tap again, get mana this way, right? And then the other Moxambor, since due to the legendary rule, goes in the graveyard, so we can play the odd one again. So if we have 2 Moxambor, we can always recycle those cards. And we do this until we have no cards left, or maybe like 4 cards left, and then we play Tassa's Oracle. This is it, in a short nutshell. You're gonna see some games. I hope you enjoy it. I think when I recorded this deck, my internet got off, but I should still have 1 or 2. So yeah. Hope you enjoy it, and yeah, let's go next. Okay. Let's go with this Breach deck here. The thing about Breaches, it's a combo deck, right? So usually opponents do not have answer in best of 1 decks. The problem can be that some aggro decks, like Goblins, could have the nuts, where it's really hard to interact with them on the draw. So yeah, let's see. Verbal 97%. I try to talk as much as I can, but usually I really have to think a lot here. We can keep it. It's not the best hand. Okay. So in this matchup, usually it depends who's faster. They are playing probably Chunt. And we don't play Mox Ember because the thing with Mox... Okay, that's annoying. We don't play creatures too much though. That's a good draw. So if we play Emery, they need to find a way to deal with Emery. Okay, let's do this. Let's play it. Okay, we got one card we would have liked to draw there. Okay. We maybe gonna play Tusk's Oracle here. No, we cannot, just realized. Let's get some draws in. Okay. So the thing is, we need to find a way to use Breach, but usually we want to find the link with every time Excavator to make this possible. So what's gonna happen here is we're gonna lose our Emery, sadly, because of the Priest. It's okay. We just need to find this Excavator and then we can go off. Since we have a Mox here, if we find a second Mox, it would work perfectly. We're probably gonna play Teferi and bounce the Priest. It's really nice that I didn't play anything here. That's a really good draw. Okay, so we bring the land. We can Lurus and play... Sadly, nothing really. I think we're just gonna play Teferi, bounce the Priest here. If they don't want to draw here, they sacrifice it, which is still fine for me. I'm still a bit scared of them slamming Bola Citadel here, so we definitely have to do it like this. If we find a mana, we can play Lurus into the Lingon Excavator, and then we would win the game next turn. So maybe they deny a draw. So okay, they deny the draw here, which is okay. I understand. So they deny the draw here. We still would like to find a way to play this with Lurus. Teferi will probably just soak damage here. Okay, it will not. Guess that's smarter. We are not fans of claims as well, so we need to find a good way to go off in one turn. Okay, they have a Trails here. And another Woe Strider. Okay, so them having another Woe Strider. Okay, I think we have to go for it. So now we need to dodge the claim. And if we dodge the claim, I think we win from here. Might be a bad idea. Okay. All that has to happen is our Excavator has to survive. Sure, we can replay it with the Lurus, but we do not have a second Mox Ember in our graveyard, which makes this a bit tricky. But our opponent plays definitely a tier 1 deck. John is really strong. And yeah, let's see how this goes. We will not block here. Mayhem Devil will get us though. So I think we have to go for it. I could have blocked with Lurus though. But we need to dodge the Mayhem Devil here. Okay, no Mayhem Devil. So now it's time. Okay, we cannot make a single mistake here now. Okay. Let's try this. It's hard. It is hard. We need to think this through shortly. I think we're gonna start with Lassaf Underworld Breach. Something, but it's not good enough. Chromatic Sphere gives us a chance to hit 2 in the graveyard, which is fine. Well, it's gonna be a hard turn. Let's go with Breach first. We're gonna play this with the Lurus. So our Emery costs even less. And now we really need to find... Now it's about finding either another Emery, just to keep this going, or a Mox Amber. Okay, we found a Tom with Crypt, which is fine as well. Which we're gonna use. Okay. Well, it's always complicated. I hope I don't mess this up here. Okay, we found the Mox Embers, so I think this is a win. It's a bit tricky though. We would love to see another Emery now. Okay. Float the blue. Gonna sacrifice this one shortly. Found an Emery. Played Emery. Yeah, I think we got this now. Keep the Emery. Yeah, it's a good game. They know it's a good game. And good game. So we won the game here. What we would have done is we would have gone all the way down and then played Tassos Oracle here, so we would have won here. So this worked out well. It's really complicated, so I try to talk play by play here, but you will see definitely more explanation in the deck tech in the beginning. So here we have a Kefis combo deck for best of one. I will shortly go over the cards. There are many versions how to play this deck and why I choose like this. I tried also multiple versions. I always went back and forth. The meta just changes so fast. It's really hard. I mean, in 2 days the meta could be different again. But I think the overall concept of this deck is important to understand, so you can play against it or play it yourself. So the way we're going to win with this deck is similar to the Breach deck, where we try to mill ourselves, and then in the end, instead of Tassos Oracle, we're going to win with Chase, the Wielder of Mysteries. Because Chase passive says, if you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. So what we're going to try to do here is mill until we just have no cards, play Chase, win the game. Plus win the game. And we have multiple ways to fill our graveyard here as well. We play Emery Lurk of the Lock, 3 mana, 1/2, as affinity to artifact, comes in the game, mill 4, and you can tap it, get an artifact back from your graveyard to your hand. Then we have the Diligent Excavator, 2 mana, 1/3. Whenever you cast a historic spell, target player mills 2 cards. And we have historic spells in Legendaries and Artifact, which is a Mox Amber, Chromatic Sphere, and all the other Legendaries we have here. So we try to mill our graveyard as good as we can, and then we go off in one turn with 1 card, which is also the name of the deck, and that's Kefis, the Hidden Hand, which is the main card of this deck. It's 1 absent mana. It's a white, black, and a green. 3/4 legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, which is nice. But the key thing about this is exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard until end of turn. Each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. This sounds good. So what we try to do is we're gonna use this ability and try to replay cards until we mill more, as long as the Diligent Excavator in play. So let's go over all the cards here. We play 2 Fiddlefips, legendary, draw a card. We play 4 Lassafs, because Lassafs can become another creature. For free, we can pay the cost, and Lassaf copies in a creature that will be in our graveyard. For example, if we need the Excavator here for the mill, or if we have a Kefis in the graveyard and we need the Kefis. So this basically holds the space for those 2 cards. Then we play also the Fairy. The Fairy, just a really good card, don't have to explain too much. It's nice sometimes to bounce your Mox Amber or your Emerys just to replay it, just to fill your graveyard, just to get mana. There are multiple ways. We also play 2 Tamios here. I was never sure if I should play the Tamio. I'm always off and on with this card. It's just another way to fill your graveyard, and most likely if you have Tamio and Kef is out, you win the game. That's just how it is. Yeah, 4 mana, 5 loyalty, +1 we can say a name, and we fill our graveyard with the card. -3 we can return target card from our graveyard to our hand, but usually we will try to fill it. It's always nice also to get some key cards back if we don't have access to it. Chase a Wincom, as just mentioned. Then we have Oath of Kaya. There's a lot of aggressive decks, so I think Oath of Kaya is there to survive, because decks like this usually tend to win turn 4 and 5, and some aggro decks, because in best of 1 there are a lot, they tend to win. Maybe Goblins wins turn 4, or Elves can win turn 4 or 5. So we have Oath of Kaya, 3 mana, legendary enchantment. When Oath of Kaya ends the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to any target, you gain 3 life. So we're just going to use this to survive this extra turn maybe, and it's a legendary as well, so we can use that as well. Yeah, one sneaky card, by the way, Phyrexian Tower is a legendary as well. Okay, so let's go over the concept again. We try to fill our graveyard as fast as we can, and then we're gonna finish this off with Chase. Same as in the Breach deck, what we're gonna do is we're gonna replay our Mox Ember as much as we can, always floating mana as much as we can, and then just try to mill with Emery or the Diligent Excavator until we have no card left. Then we have maybe like 3 or 4 floating mana. Then we play Chase, and then we win the game that turn. That's the goal of this deck, and yeah. I think combo decks like this are definitely really well placed in best of 1, because it's harder to target decks like this because there's no sideboard. So this could be a day 1 deck you want to consider for the open. And yeah, if you like this, I hope you're going to enjoy the games. Okay, let's play another one here. Let's go. Okay, BSG. That's a good hand. It's a really flexible hand as well. We cannot play Chromatic Sphere, so we're gonna play Lassaf. The Lassaf and then Emery and Chromatic Sphere. Or Chromatic Sphere Emery. Okay. Breeding Pool. So far it looks... Oh, wow. Okay. It's a mirror. Actually a mirror. And they started. So even if we lose this because they started, we're gonna let this through. It's definitely interesting to watch. Because this way I will let them do the anti-combo, and you can all see how it is gonna work. That's quite funny though. Okay, they have the better card. We don't have this one. We could find it in the graveyard. We found a Mox though. And we can play Kefis next turn. Depending what we're gonna find here, we have some options. So we can get Mox next turn as well. Stitch Supplier, that's a cool. Yeah, I had this one in this version as well. It felt a bit clunky sometimes. Lures, okay, fine. It's like in the Breach deck where you play Lures, makes sense. It's cool. Yeah, just having this card is a huge advantage. Oh. Okay. Maybe we find a way. I don't have enough legendaries. Because the chance of surviving this turn is so slim. Okay. I want to play Tamio, but then I have to move those away. It's quite awkward. But I think I could do it. Because it is going to be blue. It's going to be really close. Okay. So we want to hit all the good cards in the graveyard. So we don't want to see... Yeah, this is something we don't care. That's really unlucky. I should have chosen a non-legendary here. How in the world is this possible? I think I would have won. This is ridiculous. Okay, this is like, I was like, this is a card I don't need. I should have said, wow, should have said Chromatic Sphere or something. Okay, I can get rid of Fibblefib and of Mox Amber, but then I cannot play Emery. If I get rid of them, I can blow Mox Amber, but it doesn't help me at all. So yeah, either they go off now or not, right? This is really unlucky. It's about them finding Kefis, right? Wow. That was funny though. Because if they don't, they win next turn. They have to win this turn. Oh god. If they would be... Okay, let's say if Oath of Chaos would be in the graveyard. I could have removed the Oath of Chaos, play the Mox Amber. Mox Amber goes in the graveyard, play Emery. Or hit another Mox Amber and get the Legion Excavator. And then maybe get another... Yeah. Would be tricky. Okay. So they need to find Kefis. Okay. Well, maybe they don't win now. If they don't find Kefis, they don't win. Okay. That's fine. Okay, we got this. Poof! That was crazy though. Okay, let's go. Okay, we want to say something that we do not mind. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is you copy it. Then we're gonna get our Mox Amber here. Play the Mox Amber first here. Mill us. Nice. Keep the Mox Amber here. For additional mill, I think it's nice to play Emerys, because with the Emerys we have an infinite combo. It goes way faster usually. Keep the Emery. Now we're gonna activate this guy. We're gonna keep the Emery. Don't want to keep those. So yeah, now we start blue, Mox, and then we play the Lurker. You, Emery, mill again. So we have. I hope they let us do it so you all can see how this works. Then we blue again. Can I have another Emery here? We mill more. Keep it. Now we're gonna use Kefis again. We got. Okay, so in the end we would have played Chase, right, and then we would win the game. So that's the deck. But yeah, so this is definitely better to see how it works. And yeah, let's go to the next deck. Okay, here we have the mono blue deck. It's a tempo deck for the people who remember the mono blue tempo back in standard. I think a year ago, maybe. I would say longer, maybe longer than a year ago. Where we play many 1-drops and try to add Curse Obsession, where Curse Obsession, whenever the creature does damage to the opponent, we can draw a card. The cards that are new, I will just talk about first, and there are not many. We have Curiosity, which is basically another Curious Obsession without getting the +1/+1, but without the downside of we have to attack with the creature, otherwise we're gonna lose it. Yeah, Curiosity, 1 mana, enchantment aura. Whenever enchant a creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So it's the same principle here. We have in total 8 cards like this, which is really, really good. This is a deck that's really flexible. It's not good against decks that go really wide. There are not too many, but if they go wide and have just like some key cards like Transmogrify, this deck works really well. So I want to go over the other cards. I got a little bit inspired by Calcano's deck with a bit of an older deck, which I think this is the version I would run. Let's go over the 1-drop. So we play Fairy Miscreant. I was not sure about this card. It's a 1 mana 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, and if you control an other card like this, we can draw a card. So it's just really nice to find some other cards. So 1 mana, 1/1 flyer, which is what we want. I also liked the Miscloaked Herald as a 2-off here. Some people don't play it. I saw people play 4s. It's just really nice with the Curiosity, because Curiosity doesn't give +1/+1, and sometimes it's hard to go over, even if they have like also a 1/1 flyer. So I want to have at least 2 of them. Then Siren Storm Tamer, just an amazing card, 1 mana, 1/1, flying. We can sacrifice it and counter target spell ability that targets you or creature you control. We got also 2 Sailors, 1 mana Flash, flying, 1/1. For 4 mana we can draw a card, really good. I play 2 Spell Pierce here in the main. This is the card, guys, I could see different. Feel free to change Spell Pierce maybe with creatures here. Sometimes I just like this protection. Maybe you could also add Dive Down. It depends on the meta, I think. But I want to have a 1 mana protection spell for a potential Obsession or Curiosity on a creature, so we can safely attack and draw the card. Then Lofty Denial, 2 mana, new counter from M21. Counter dark spell unless its control pays 1. If you control a creature with flying, counter that spell unless it controls pays 4. Really good. We play almost only flyers except the Tricksters and the Herald. Think it's a really good card. Merfolk Trickster, 2 mana, 2/2, just such a powerful card. Flash, when it comes to the battlefield, we can top target creature, and it loses all abilities until the end of turn. So this is a way where you can actually, like, there's so many cards you can deny with this. It's just a versatile card. I really love it. Lookout Dispersal, 3 mana. This spell costs 1 less if you control a pirate. And we have pirates. We have some pirates. I could also see only play 2 of this and maybe add another resort. But yeah, it's a creature type combination. You have to figure it out what's the best way. It's a 3 mana counter where they have to pay 4. It costs 1 less if we have a pirate. Then we want to play 1 Brazen Borer just to have that bounce effect here, and it's a creature itself. Just an overall strong card. 2 Wizard Resorts, counter as well, 3 mana, costs 1 less if you control a wizard. And Tempest Chain. I saw many decks. This is more like the old school mono blue tempo where you try to attack, draw cards, and so on. There are also mono blue tempo decks where play more creature, more cheap creature, more flash spirit, kind of more on the spirit side. I think the spirit side deck is good as well. I'm just going to show you this version because I think you maybe be more familiar with this. That's why I play Tempest Chain here, 3 mana, 0/4, flyer. When Chin gets +1/+0 for each basic island you control, just our big creature, right? So yeah, this is the deck. As I said, tempo deck. You try to get a creature on board. You try to get a Curiosity effect. Draw cards, counter attack, slowly chipping them down. That's the way it works. So hopefully you like it and enjoy the games. Okay, next deck I want to show is a mono blue deck. And the mono blue decks, they have a lot of counters. They are more like a tempo deck, like the old mono blue deck we used to have. We have some more tools now with Jumpstart as well. We've got basically 8 Curious Obsessions. That's a keep. So what we have here is a Spectral Sail into Obsession, right, with counter backup. And from there we're going to see what we are doing. So dropping Island Pass Sailor, because we want to keep the Storm Tamer. That's a joke, right? That's absolute. Okay, I never expected this to happen because this is almost unlikely. It's actually a joke. No one plays this card, and then we just face this card. That's ridiculous. I'm still gonna play it, but that's a. I don't know. I honestly think sometimes Arena pairs you with like the craziest situation. I mean, like, how in the world is this possible? Okay, this is pretty good though. So we get this one over the Reacher, which is important. And now we need to find a land. No land here. No land here. It's only 1 damage, huh? I'm gonna play this. It's a bit annoying to not find a land here. I may be sure get card advantage here. We drew already 3 cards here. If they wanna use this ability, they have to tap out. Okay, that's fine. Just gonna attack here. And now I can actually think of keeping mana up for Lofty Denial here. Because right now, I don't know what they could play that could disturb me, right? As long as I have Magma land drops the next turns. Yeah, I think we're gonna let it like this. We don't have to play Tempest Chin here. We're just gonna counter now whatever we see. That's how Mono Blue is. It's really stupid though, but I like it sometimes. I'm usually not the best tempo player, and Crooks makes fun of me, but I guess he's right. We have to play cards from our hand. So this can counter target spell or ability. So if they would use the sniper, we can use a Storm Tamer here to make sure it doesn't happen. So we're still gonna attack with Sailor here. They could go for the block here and then shoot, which is what I think they will do. Okay, so this is pre-block, huh? Then this is gonna be this. This way we can keep the Siren Storm Tamer. Just gonna draw cards and have counter up. But I have to say it's so funny that this. How is this even possible? This card turn 1. If we didn't have the combination, this card would just wreck us. If they play, they counter it. We have 6 damage in the air. I can go to up to 8. Creature of power less than champion of follow can't block creature control. I don't mind this. That's a budget elf deck there. This one I mind, sorry. They probably try to bait the counter out here for whatever this champion is. But at this point, does not matter. So they're on 3. We just have to counter. We don't want to discard, so play a Siren Storm Tamer, pass, and have 2 counters up. But that's all that Monoblood Tempo does. So let's do another one so you can see it. This was a really funny game though. Really funny. Okay, so here we have Rec Best of 1 Feel of the deck. Reclamation, just such a popular deck. I don't think I have to explain this to you guys here in Lotus Box. Reclamation in Historic is, in my opinion, the best deck, but that's because I'm biased to Reclamation and a huge success with this deck. I also want to say the deck is so strong already that you can easily play it best of 1. And it is a normal Reclamation deck, where we play Reclamation, we play Expansion Explosion, we play some counters, we play Uros. But in Historic, what we get is the card called Explore. 2 mana, you may play an additional land this turn, draw a card. Sounds familiar? It's basically Growth Spiral, just a sorcery with a bit lighter mana cost. And what we're gonna try to do here is just try to ramp, expansion, win the game, combo, bam. Another card we have here is Magma Quake. It's a jumpstart card. It's really powerful in my opinion. It's 2 red and X. It's an instant, which is really important. Magma Quake deals X damage to each creature without flying and each planeswalker. So Magma Quake here is really, really strong because you can use it with Wild Reclamation on end of turn and just do like huge damage on all planeswalker. It's also nice because it can actually work against Teferi as well. So Magma Quake, super versatile card here we got from Jumpstart in this deck. Then what we also play, because that's the name, Field of the Dead. Reclamation is a deck where we're gonna try to ramp a lot to get to a lot of mana. So I think it's not too much of a sacrifice to play Field of the Dead. And Field of the Dead is actually really good against Teferi because you have another way to deal with Teferi. I think it's really cool. You're gonna see the exact mana base later on. There could be a bit more tweaking. This is the way I went with it. I usually don't have problems. And what we also need in a deck like this is we need at least, I would say, some ways to deal with Teferi if we don't have those cards. So we want to have some counters. I went with 3 counters and 2 gusts here. Gust is something you want against cards like Muxus and you say Gust mainboard. I think there are many green and red cards where Gust is really good. Someone told me we could add a Teferi 4 if we don't need Gusts. But this is a snapshot of the meta, and right now I think you should need Gusts in best of 1. So 2 Gusts here, 2 Disputes, 1 Neutralize, so we can also cycle the Neutralize, and 1 Brazen Borer, and 2 Shark Typhoon as just some support cards. But yeah, Reclamation best of 1, really strong deck. Definitely test this out, and hopefully you enjoy the games. Okay. So we got a good matchup. Those games go usually really fast. LOD, that's one of my viewers. Okay, I have no idea what LOD could play though. Again, we are not on the draw, which is a bit annoying. Okay, this is a good one. Mono Red did. Goblins, wow. Okay. We have Wilderness Reclamation, so we have access to that card next turn. Which is important. The thing is we have a Neutralize, and we have to make sure that we can use our Neutralize for the Muxus, right? So this is a really good showcase matchup, and I'm glad we face Goblins with this deck. And we see what the next card is. Huh? Magma Quake is also a really good card. We're cool with finding lands. Okay, so we got our Reclamation turn 3, which is what we want, right? It untaps here. Okay. So if they would find some crazy way, okay. This is where I use Magma Quake for 2, which clears the board. And then it's our turn. So now we have to make sure that we have still Neutralize up, because they only need 1. Well, I think it's best to actually just use Shark Typhoon. So here we're going to use Shark Typhoon for 4. And that's it. We pass. Find another Reclamation here, which will nice for our expansion next turn. Okay, they have to go for it. We counter it. So now this looks definitely way better. An attack. And turn, we do the classic stuff. I'll have to write him later back. Okay. So this is an 8 and 7 again. Amazing. Okay, we found the ghost here. Which means we cannot actually play it. We're gonna discard and explore here. Say pass. They could have another one, right? It's a good card. It's a good card. We're gonna actually ghost this one. I don't think they have Muxus and they don't have a land, right? They could have Muxus but not a land. So we're gonna ghost this here. Okay, so they don't have Muxus now, we know it. Our field is activated. It's better to use Explore here than the Wildness. Yeah, another token. And another token. We don't have anything to do with our mana. So we have a real huge Magma Quake though. Which is this. Okay. So opponent is searching for something. So we just resolve this and say pass. Having Brazen and Magma Quake is pretty decent. Okay. So far we have Lethal. They cannot go Muxus here because we have Lethal, right? Okay, so far Magma Quake 1 is the thing we do. And that's a good game. So yeah, nice showcase here against Goblin. So this is Reclamation. Gonna write friend back here. And yeah, let's go next deck or next game. Okay, so here we have the Goblin deck. I don't have the gameplay for this deck because I don't have the wild cards. I think you saw this deck on the ladder a lot though. I will explain why this deck is so strong and what it does. So let's go shortly over all the cards and over the new cards. And I want to start off with Max's Goblin Grundy. 6 mana for 4 Goblin. It's a bit expensive, right? But let's read the text shortly. When Max's Goblin Grundy enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards of your library, put all Goblin creature cards with converted mana cost 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Whenever Max's attacks, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn for each Goblin you control. So if you play this, you have a high chance of hitting many Goblins, right? And if you hit a Goblin with haste, let's say that is the Goblin War Chief, which is a 3 mana 2/2 that says Goblin you control have haste, or you hit the Goblin Chief Train, which is 3 mana 2/2 as well, haste, and all the Goblin creatures you control get +1/+1 and have haste. So with those cards, you can immediately attack and have a huge power swing. But there's more. There's this 1 mana Goblin, which is called Skirk Prospector. 1 mana, 1/1. Sacrifice a Goblin, add 1. So what you try to do is, you try to get to 6 mana as fast as you can. That is why we also play Willy Goblin here, 2 mana, 1/1. When Willy Goblin enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. And treasure token we can sacrifice to get a mana. So let's say our curve is turn 1, Prospector, turn 2 Goblin, so we have 2 lands, 2 Goblins, and a treasure token. And then turn 3, let's say we play Goblin Investigator, which gives us 2 more Goblins. We would have 4 Goblins, 1 open mana, 1 land. And we would have a treasure token, or we just play a land, which would make 3 lands, 1 Prospector, 1 Willy Goblin, and a treasure token. We sacrifice those. We sacrifice this. We play Muxus, turn 3. Muxus, turn 3. We get Krenko. We get Chief Train. We get another Prospector. We have 4 Goblins. Let's say we get this one as well. We have suddenly 6 Goblins. We tap Krenko because it has haste. We get 6 more Goblins. We have mana. We spend the mana. We play the Snoop and so on. There's just so much explosive cards here, and all goes off of Muxus. So I just want to say again, if many people may target this deck now, because it was so popular in best of 1 and best of 3 when this card came out. And I don't have the card, but I have ways to deal with it, and I will show you guys how. But yeah, this deck really tries to get Muxus out as fast as possible, and it's a creature deck. Let's go over all the cards as well. We also have Snoop. It's 2 mana, 2/2. We can play with the top card of your library open, and we can play Goblin cards from there. We also can use the ability of those cards, which is really nice. Sometimes you have a Crank on top, which is a 4 mana 3/3. We can tap it and create X/1/1 red Goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. So let's say we have 4 goblins. This is our top card. We can tap this, get 4 goblins. It's really nice. Then we play also Goblin Metron, 3 mana. Historic anthology card. When this comes into the battlefield, we can search for a goblin card and put it on our hand. So Goblin Metron makes us find Muxus. Sometimes you just want a Lord effect, like Chief Train and Haste for the extra damage, because we are still a creature beatdown deck as well. And yeah, Goblin War Chief is just makes our Goblin spell cheaper, but we want it for the haste. Then we play the Instigator, which is basically 2 mana, 2 goblins. Then we play the Galmpalm Incinerator. I remember this card when I played back in the Onslaught block. It's a 2 mana cycling, actually, that's what you use it for. And you can do damage to a creature where X is the number of goblins you control. And we play also Goblin Ringleader, 4 mana, 2/2. Haste. When it comes to the battlefield, check the top 4 cards, and we can take the goblins in our hand just to get some more gas. But yeah, all of this deck is basically about Muxus, and this is what I want to tell you guys. You try to get as fast as you can to Muxus, play Muxus, and from there you combo off with multiple interactions. As I said, with the top card, with more Prospector, with Crankor, there are multiple ways to just keep it going. And yeah, this is this deck. Feel free to try it out. I think it's good. I think it's tier 1.5. That's where I would put it. I think it was tier 1. And now it's maybe tier 1.5 because of the attack on this deck. So yeah, this is this deck.